Hi, this is Len Furman, the sports time traveler, with a very short article today that is one more way for me to honor the memory of the great Willie Mays. This article is titled The Brilliant Base Running of Willie Mays. Subtitle: The Philadelphia Phillies experienced the cunning of the Say Hey Kid in a critical game during the 1964 pennant race. Philadelphia, September 7th, 1964. I'm on a virtual trip to Philadelphia where I wanted to get another peek at the Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays, in his last game in the city of brotherly love this season. Earlier this year, I was following Willie Mays every day in 1964. He got out to one of the great starts in baseball history, hitting 17 home runs in his first 34 games of the season and batting .468 through mid May. Sportswriters were starting to talk about Willie being the first to bat .400 in 23 years since Ted Williams in 1941. Mays cooled off, and nagging injuries bogged him down later in the year. In August, he only batted .243. But coming into the September 6th game in Philadelphia, he was still leading the National League with 39 home runs, although his season batting average had dipped down to an even .300, and the Giants, who had been in first place as late as July 20th, were now 8.5 games back after losing to Jim Bunning and the first place Phillies in their prior game. Yesterday, they had their final game against the league leading Phillies. 21,548 fans were on hand in old Connie Mack Stadium in Philadelphia for the Saturday afternoon contest. The score was tied at 3 going into the eighth inning. With one out in the top of the eighth, the Say Hey Kid came to the plate. Phillies pitcher Jack Baldschun didn't like the idea of pitching to Mays, who could put the Giants ahead with one swing. Baldschun pitched carefully to Mays and walked the tired superstar, as Frank Dolson, writer for the Philadelphia Inquirer, referred to Willie. Then Baldschun was nervous about Mays on the base path. Mays, at age 33 and suffering from muscle spasms in his back and exhaustion so bad that manager Alvin Dark didn't want to play him yesterday, isn't the stolen base threat he was in the mid 1950s when he led the National League in steals in 4 consecutive seasons. But Mays can still run. He had 18 steals on the season going into yesterday's game and had only been caught 5 times. And Mays had not failed on a steal attempt since June. So Baldschun decided to throw to first baseman Frank Thomas to hold Willie close to the bag. But the ball, quote, trickled off the top of the first baseman Frank Thomas's glove, as reported by Dolson. Mays then sprinted to second base. However, Willie didn't simply slide in and take the base. Instead, Mays tried some trickery. He rounded the bag to make it look like he was going to try for third base. After the game, Mays told Dolson in the Philadelphia Inquirer that he had no intention of going to third. He said, "I don't think I could have made it. I wanted him to throw." Mays was trying to dupe the Phillies' first baseman, Frank Thomas, into making a throw. And it worked. Frank Thomas told Dolson after the game, "I started to run it in. Then I looked at Mays and I thought he was going to go for third, so I fired it." But in his haste to nail Mays at third, Thomas's throw sailed over the head of Phillies third baseman Dick Allen and bounced into the left field seats. By the time it made it into the hands of a lucky fan, Willie Mays had raced home with the go ahead run. The Say Hey Kid had created a run all by himself without getting a hit, and the Giants won the game 4-3. "It was a real sickening way to lose a game," sighed Bolshin after the game in an interview with Frank Dolson. Alan Lewis of the Philadelphia Inquirer penned the front page article in the paper today, in which he started with this line: "If Willie Mays doesn't beat you with his bat, or his glove, or his arms, he'll do it with his legs, his daring, and his great base running instinct." With the loss, the Phillies' lead in the National League falls to 5.5 games over the Reds and 7.5 games over the Giants and Cardinals. They can ill afford to lose another game like this one and maintain their hopes of winning just their second pennant in the past 50 seasons. That's all for today. Thanks for listening. Bye bye now.